Welcome to Neurotic News. Um, Boy, oh boy, I've had a really tough time recording today because someone has been whippersnipping and sawing outside my
Mm.
window, and we've tried to record half a dozen times, and it's been a nightmare. Rathi had to walk away and punch a wall. Um,
Oh,
did you get violent?
it's
Was that
no, but like I was in that thing, when you're walking the streets and you hope someone does something.
so you can punch them?
You hope someone instigates stuff so you can go, what the fuck? But then everyone, of
Yeah.
course, is really nice.
which is so much worse.
Well, they're the things that make me suicidal in life is just like external weirdness. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why is that guy got the whippersnipper now?
Yeah. No, you're right. It's almost more frustrating than the real horrible, you know, people betraying you and people dying and all the stuff that you just it's like, yeah, of course that's going to happen, but
Yeah.
when it's like, why have you got your whippersnipper on at this time of day, right when we're trying to do a podcast, and then you turn it off and turn it on every time we go to record? That kind of thing's enough to make you neck yourself.
That's what makes me neck myself, like, is say, when you've got like a curry and you're trying to pair it with the TV show or whatever, and then it like your internet cuts out in the stream, midstream or whatever.
Right, right.
And as you're trying to fix it, you're eating the curry still.
So
Do you know what I mean? You're like,
the curry's going to waste.
yeah, because you're trying to fix a technical problem while eating a lamb korma. It's just such a waste of the meal. It's like the one chance you had to relax that week is fucked now
Because you want
because of the.
Yeah, because you kind of want to be like enjoying the curry, watching something, but when you're just hobbled over, like, why is that cable not plugged into the
Yeah, have you done that before? Where you're like eating the thing going, fuck, and you've got like a chicken wing and you're like, it's fucking. And then you call the internet provider eating a chicken wing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you've spoiled the meal, you've spoiled the enjoyment of the and you're right, it's hard to sit down and not snack.
It is. And that's what will make me kill myself if I ever hang myself, which is likely this year.
I know that
It'll be,
this year, you really emphasize this year.
I reckon this year.
Yeah, coming out of the pandemic and all the crisis, you're like, now I'm going to neck myself.
Better time to do it, eh?
Be original.
Now. Well, no one would have cared if it was at the peak of the COVID.
I get what you mean when someone like is just whippersnipping like they were, like that noise was just unbelievable. Um, but you never hear Marx talk about how annoying the working class is, do you? Like, I don't reckon
Yeah,
Marx
it's
spent much time having drinks with them after their factory work.
yeah. At their most rambunctious, like he's never been yelled at from a ute.
Yeah, he
Like,
missed a lot with the working class, I reckon, Marx, because I reckon he was just sitting in a study writing, but like he didn't go out and yeah, like you say, he hasn't been called a fag from a ute and
yeah,
threw a beer can at him.
yeah. He's he's not had like a ute pull up to a bus station and have the guy just go, yeah, fucking red nuts, get in the bus, you fucking dog. Like, because then you're like, you view the working class through a different lens once you've been abused and intimidated by them.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of Marx hanging around the working class and going to a footy match with them and drinking and just because he sort of has to, because he's their champion.
Yet
You
they
know.
would never call him a champion. And you know what I mean? Like, they'd never be like, hey, champion. Like, they'd be like, the fucking egghead's here to ruin the good time again.
Yeah, who
Like,
bought the
because
egghead along? Fucking hell.
like you can't imagine Marx with like a Monster Energy drink, like at the work site at the carvery.
No, that's so true.
You know the
Yeah,
carvery they go to, that where you
yeah.
get like a lamb roast.
And there's like the hot box, and there's like lamb roast, chips, roasted vegetables, great, and a big thing of gravy.
Yeah, Marx, he was, I think, because he was in the ivory tower, as they say. Like he was in a
Yeah,
gilded cage or whatever, like a nice little. He was in
He-
the library or whatever.
yeah, he wasn't getting his hands dirty. Like the other day, I was before the right turning lane had sort of become an option. I kind of went around traffic and went into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I kind of went into the other lane of traffic and cut into the turning right lane because I just didn't think anyone was going to turn right, if that makes sense. But
Oh, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
car in front of me was a working dude with a high vis, like angry looking guy, and I kind of went around him and he went to turn right into the turning line. He was in the right, I was in the wrong.
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh shit." And then he was stuck behind me, like going, "What the fuck?" And then we both turned right, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's turning right with me." And then we both turned into the same shopping center, and then he pulled up beside me by coincidence and got
Really?
out, and he goes, "What the fuck was that, mate?" In a high vis.
Yeah.
And I just can't help but feel like if Marx had been abused by a balding older worker in high vis pulling up to the same cafe, same shopping center to buy a kebab, that he would have written the Communist Manifesto.
He would have written Atlas Shrugged instead.
The
That
Ayn
Ayn
Rand
Rand
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Like
fuck the
you're on your
workers.
own.
Yeah, the workers deserve to die. If they can't work hard enough, they should die. And
Because Ayn Rand probably had a dodgy plumber will come in and fucking make fun of her or something. You know what I mean? She's like, fuck the working class. I'm going to write a book about individualism.
yeah, yeah.
I don't, these people are rude.
Yeah.
There's no camaraderie. And that's the thing with the working class too. Like, because like, say if you're really hungover because you don't have a job and you've done coke and stuff, and then you want to sleep in, but of course that's when construction starts at like 6 a.m. or whatever. Like
Yeah,
they just
right.
assume you're going to be up. But like, I think we have this weird thing where we're like, oh, fuck, they've got the power drill right next to my window or whatever. But
Mm.
weirdly, we can't express our anger because we weirdly respect the labor of it.
Yeah.
We just inherently respect manual labor because there's no reason why they should be power drilling and building a gazebo on their house or whatever. Like some guy's just making an extension on his mansion or whatever. And we just accept it because there's working class people doing the work.
Right.
But it's no different from, say, like a Dungeons and Dragons convention being done outside your house and it's really loud. Like, say, if they're doing that LARPing stuff, like that medieval reenactment, like if some guy was like, "Hello, my liege," and you woke up at 6 a.m. hearing that, you would like put your window down and throw like a rock at his head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you'd be so
like, "Go
incensed.
fucking do your medieval
Like,
weird shit someplace else, you fucking idiot."
don't
But
you
yeah,
reckon?
yeah, but you're saying just because they're working on stuff that we need, like roads, extension to houses, or like
Yeah.
real stuff. You're saying that if it was a Star Trek Comic Con convention, you'd be angrier.
You'd be
than the-
angrier, like if a guy had a megaphone who was like, "Klingons unite" or whatever. You'd be like, "Fucking hell, shut the fuck up!" Like you'd actually really tell them to shut the fuck up. Do you know what? Because I've never told a guy with a power drill to turn it down.
Because you know their work is necessary.
Well, there it does. It's not even that it's necessary because, like, sometimes it's just renovations on some fuckhead's place.
Right.
Do you know what I
yes,
mean?
Yeah.
It's a guy getting another veranda on the back. Like, is
Mm.
that necessary? I wonder. But
Mhm.
it's because the working class are working on it that we
Right.
don't tell them to shut up.
There's a kind
So
of respect.
I would argue it. Yeah, but I would argue it's no more. It should be considered no more or as bad as the Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Right. Okay.
They're
that's
both
an
equally
interesting take.
disruptive.
Right. Well, I guess the thing about the Dungeons and Dragons thing is that it is never disruptive. Like that whippersnipper. Like you're so right, though. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I mean, it just depends on what the work's for, right? If it's for public stuff like roads and footpaths, what you're going to use. But this is just some guy. This is some rich guy's place that's paying
Yeah.
some.
I
poor
see what you mean.
bastard.
There's a difference between are they refurbishing the trains versus
Yeah.
building
Second
another
swimming
level to the
pool.
mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, and then and if it's that versus the Comic Con, there's no reason for Comic Con to ever happen.
And there's no reason for another pool to be built so they can fucking swim. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's their
right.
Comic Con. That's their Dungeons and Dragons convention, is them building a pool. Because
That's
it's
their
not,
nerd. That's their nerdism. Their
yeah, but
nerdness
for
is.
we respect it because there's people in high vis making the pool in the mansion.
And
You
why do
know
you
what I
think
mean?
that
Like,
is? Do you think that if like people at the Star Trek conventions and the people that were LARPing were like tough roughnecks with like tats and high vis or something like why is that?
I think it's just, yeah, it's an inherent respect for the high vis. It's the same reason a guy wearing high vis could come in and take my TV away and I'd do nothing because I'd just assume he'd been sent by the building manager or whatever. Or you know what I mean? It's like there's an inherent respect for whatever they're doing. It must be necessary or something because it's
So
just
you're
no one
saying
wants
that
to
if
do it.
a guy with a high vis walked in and was like, mate, yeah, it's TV collection day. We've got a permit here to got a form here to pick up your TV. You'd be like, yep. And they just take it away and just put it in their ute and drive off. You'd be okay with
Yeah,
that.
you'd be like, thanks so much for coming over. I understand it's tough out there. Like, because they would seem so like, they seem so tired from the labor of it all. That's just an inbuilt respect we have for like a work
Ah,
ethic. They're so
right,
like exhausted and shit. I remember when I used to wear high vis to the shops and stuff, I felt so righteous. There was a
right.
feeling of like, I'm not and you almost felt like you got more respect on the road and stuff from other cars. Like people would almost give you more way because they're
Right.
like, fuck, God knows what he's been doing, but it's been tough.
Yeah. So you think it could be fun to cover yourself in a bit of dirt, put a high vis on, and because I mean, I got to say, when I see someone in high vis pick up that big M out of the Coca-Cola fridge at a fish and chip shop, it's like you say, you talk about this a lot, where there's a sort of like end of day, get my big M,
Yeah.
big day. You know, like there's some kind of thing that they're getting that we don't get as people that work in the arts.
Yeah.
We don't get the
They get a,
yeah. Like when we have our drinks or whatever, it just feels like yet another celebration of something that never should be
yeah.
like it's
They
an
drink the
endless
big M and they
celebration.
go, fuck, there's a righteous exhaustion, the big M.
Mm.
They've clocked off. But anytime I've drunk a cocktail, it's been with a mixture of ambivalence and despair.
There's almost a disgust, or not a disgust, but like a just a sickliness to the never ending indulgence of the industry we work in. The
There's
awards
a,
and the shows and the drinks, and it's every night. Every night's a celebration if you want it to be.
but there's never the righteousness to it. Like you never
Yeah.
crack a beer going, yes, it's done. Fuck yeah. The boys are finished.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
everyone huddles in and we're like, we're done. Like there's never
Yeah.
that moment. It's always
Because
like, oh, I don't know if that was was that a thing? Have
well,
I done anything?
that's funny, is that because I went to a party to celebrate the end of the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and there was just all these people standing around going, yes, and they were going upstairs and doing coke and coming back and going, yeah, sort of, yeah, well. And what do you think about? And it was just in like this fancy apartment, and there was like art on the wall and shit, and it's like, yeah, very good. And that was after a month of the hardest fucking work you can do in what we do, which is just an hour of stand up every night, night in, night out, working, doing shows until the wee hours of the morning, waking up and doing it all again. Like absolutely exhausting
It,
work, but you still don't feel like, it's not like, kick back, put your feet
yeah,
up,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's because mental work is Chinese water torture, whereas physical work is discrete. Like manual labor is like getting your finger cut off in a wood chipper. It's like,
Right.
I can see the pain you caused me, you dog.
Mm,
It's finished now, cunt. Like I've lost my
mm.
fucking finger. But like mental work is just a continuous drop on the head, on the temple. Like, have you done enough? Maybe you should send an email at 2 a.m. That's that PricewaterhouseCoopers labor too, where it's never done. Like they fucking keep emailing the cunts. And that's
Yeah.
why those office people never really are that rowdy at pubs, because they're not sure if they've done enough.
Right. Whereas a building site, they're like, look, the building, it's done. Crack the beer, boys. Let's go kick someone to death for fun. I mean,
That's yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
took it a bit far then, but yeah.
No, they've got the required endorphin rush to like run over someone in a vehicle and laugh. That's why they hoon in cars and stuff. You know, you see like a guy in high vis just doing 120 in a 40 zone. It's because he's just been bricklaying all day and he's like, I'm fucking done, cunts. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm fucking done. Rum.
Rum. You're never going to see a guy that works for Ernst & Young as a hedge fund manager. Do you know what I mean? Like rev his Prius at the lights, like brum.
Rev his electronic engined Mercedes E-Class.
Yeah,
Like,
because do you know why he's not going to rev it? Because they got those cars, those Ernst & Young cunts have those cars that stop and start at the lights. You know, the ones that power down at the lights? Like they go brum.
go brum. You know what? Yeah, because the engine is computerized for climate and all sorts of reasons go and then just starts up automatically. But you know why they've never put that? You know why they've never put that feature on a Ute? They'll never put that feature on a Ute, even though it's totally applicable. They'll never do it because no one who drives a Ute ever wants their fucking engine to stop. If they had their way, the engine would stay on all fucking night. Leave the engine on.
They could get killed at a work site.
You know?
Yeah. Because you can't intimidate someone at a lights by going brum, like powering down.
Yeah.
You know, that's not in Fast and Furious. The guy's like brum, like just.
Yeah. Like sometimes
got a neck tattoo of a shotgun. Brum.
Going to a guy in a high vis and he's got the Ute on sitting in the garage at 3 a.m. You think he's trying to neck himself, but he's just enjoying himself.
You know, he's partying after another day.
Yeah, he's just revving the engine in the garage for a bit of fun.
Because when I worked in that like the high vis arena, their parties were just hardcore. Like it's like we're doing coke and getting fucked up tonight, like because we deserve it, and isn't it fucking amazing? You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah, you're right. There's a righteous enjoyment, whereas our arts parties, it's a bit more like, oh, I don't think I'm not really doing coke and drinking right now. I just feel like, oh, maybe we should. I don't know. There's always like a whimsical, like, should we even be doing? You know, like,
do I deserve a cafe breakfast?
Exactly.
Do I really? Oh my god, it's really saucy. This breakfast is too saucy.
In our defense, it's a bit saucy and a bit. Yeah, we sit around and say things like that Eggs Benedict with soft shell crab was a bit rich. But
I won't say anything though, because I've got to go.
Old mate from the fucking work side, who just give me a fucking 4 and 20 pie. Fuck yeah, that was good. I'm gonna take a shit. I'll see you at the work site, cunt. You know what I mean? It's not, there's no gray area. It's not like, should I have the pie? Shouldn't I? It's a bit rich.
They feel the labor in their bones, which is, it's like the work is much harder, but they feel the relief of it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not lifting a barrel of concrete. Fuck yeah. It's an ecstasy of relief and tangible relief. It's over now. I'm home now kind of thing.
Yeah,
which I envy.
There is something enviable about that, isn't there? Well, we stayed together at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, in an apartment together, and we were staying in an apartment complex that had a floor that was a spa, sauna, swimming pool, relaxing area that was the best I've ever seen of that kind of area.
It was an oligarch's getaway. Really?
An oligarch's getaway in a building that was filled with what seemed to be Chinese expats. Would you describe it?
It had a feeling of, that's exactly. It had a feeling of not just Chinese expats, but like the children of diplomats almost. Like,
yeah, expats.
It had the vibe.
Expats is the
Yeah,
wrong
it was
word.
like Chairman Mayo's nephew type vibe. Like,
Yeah, like we
who,
had
who
we had a sauna with that kid. Kid came in and we're like, "Oh, what's your dad doing?" And she's like, "Oh, he's back in China, and I'm here with his friends looking after me." So it's kind of this kid that must be so rich that the father works for the government and just sends their kid to this apartment.
yeah, it's like you go and frolic in the in the liberal West or whatever because it's
Right.
better.
So when we signed up for this Airbnb, one of the strict like
Yeah.
like strict guidelines to having the
Yeah.
apartment was you're not allowed on level 6,
Yeah.
which is the spa, sauna, gym level that we're talking about. And of course, you're not allowed on it unless you're a long-term resident. You're not allowed on it. So of course we went down there and our key fob got us to level 6. So we got out on level 6 and we looked around and we tried to swipe our key fob to get into level 6 security door to get in. We could see the pool. It was incredible. It was an infinity pool, right?
It was the type of pool that yeah, you see in like those weird magazines, like that, you know, like an underground bunker
It was
in a
incredible.
mansion kind of thing.
It was incredible. And we couldn't get in. And then we realized to get in to this level, it's not for residents. It's for certain residents. And to get in, you need a thumbprint. So the only way you can get in is with a thumb or fingerprint. That's the only way in.
Yeah.
So
And the funny thing is that we discovered that because the whole ruse was like you've left your key in the facility, remember? Like,
that's right.
oh, my key's in there, sorry, to try and get in with people that are already in there.
And they just give us
And
weird
then
looks.
of course, because yeah, they were like, what key?
Yeah, but they still let us in. But so we were sneaking in by waiting for other people to leave and asking them to let us in because we forgot our key. But it took us a while to realize it's actually a fingerprint you need into a device on the wall. So then we discovered that if you like, there's an exit button inside the door that you press when you're leaving to unlock the security door, which is, very
Yeah,
common. You know, those green exit buttons you press
yeah.
that unlocks.
The
So we realized that if we took something and was able to put our arm through the door, we could hit the exit button. And that's when we discovered an umbrella in our apartment that had been left there. And we took the umbrella down, stuck our arm through the door and hit the exit button. And that unlocked the door and we were able to get through without a fingerprint, obviously.
and that was the best feeling I've ever had, I think, because it was just so like it felt like Space Odyssey when the monkey learns to do what the rock or whatever. You know, when they show them discovering tools for the
Oh
first time.
yeah. Yeah, he holds up the bone.
Yeah, it was like that. I felt with the umbrella.
Well, it's actually related to what you were saying. We get so little of that in our job. Like all our job is just sitting around thinking and then talking about the things we think about. That putting our
Yes.
arms through a door and hitting a button with an umbrella was so satisfying.
Yeah, it was a physical input output thing.
That we
It's
never
like you
get.
did this and then you get this. Oh, and I get to see the reward, which is a infinity pool with a sauna and multiple gazebos.
It was unbelievably satisfying to break into that place with an umbrella. And I remember at one point, at first, it was really hard to do because the button was around the wall corner.
Yeah.
So we got in and then we were practicing. One of us was on one side of the door, putting their arm through the hole, and the other one was guiding the umbrella to the exit button to practice to try and work out if we could do it. And the security of the place came over while I was like you were on one side, I was on the other, guiding your umbrella to the exit button. So it was so obvious we were breaking in. And he was like, can I help you? And we were like, yeah, no, we're fine. And he was
We're
like,
chilling.
oh, okay.
Relaxing. We're just relaxing.
Yeah, no, but that's what happened.
in the
He just went,
facility.
he
Yeah,
went,
yeah.
okay. It's like, what does it look like, man? We're so obviously breaking in with an umbrella.
Well, I think, yeah, and not only that, but like we're obviously already broken in, but we're scoping it for how to repeat it again.
Yeah. He
Like
just
it's
went,
like
okay.
being in an art gallery and being like, yeah, so if we can fit this into a box, it's like if someone had a measurement tape. It's like if two guys were in like an art gallery weird place where the Mona Lisa is, and one of them's got a measuring tape and the other one's nodding, going, that should be
Yeah.
right. Like,
Yeah.
and that's, oh no, we're just relaxing.
Yeah. Like the
You know
art
what I
gallery
mean?
guy
Like,
goes, why are you measuring up? Why are you measuring the Mona Lisa? Oh, no reason. We're just relaxing.
yeah, just
Like
chilling.
it was one of the strangest things I reckon that guy's ever seen in that place. Like to see two white people, because we're the only white people in the whole building. And so
Yeah.
to see two white people just with an umbrella trying to break into a spa sauna complex would have seemed very odd to him, I think.
It reminds me of something that would happen in like Thailand or something, but the reverse. Like there'd be a bunch of Australian expats
Yeah,
who
yeah,
were in a really, really nice resort.
yeah.
And then like some locals were like trying to get in with an umbrella.
Yeah, we're the locals. We're the
Yeah, we're the
locals.
locals.
Just
Just
a
trying
couple
to
of
get in.
local
We're
white
like,
boys. Couple of poor
please,
local
brother,
white boys. poor
just a
white
swim,
boys
brother.
doing the Melbourne Comedy Festival, just trying to break in.
Trying to break in for a sweat and a swim.
Yep.
Please. Please, brother.
Please, brother.
Just 20 minutes, 4 laps.
Definitely right up there with the most pathetic things we've done. It's funny.
Oh, but I thought I felt like, because once you got used to the umbrella, I remember like really wanting to use it. But then like people just started letting me in because I had the energy of someone who was going into the facility.
And they just
So
went, oh,
like
this
2
person
times,
belongs. Yeah.
yeah. So I'd come with the umbrella and someone would like come in and open the door, and then I would be annoyed that I couldn't use the tool. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, I was going to do the green button thing because it feels so good to press the green button with the umbrella.
It feels so satisfying to break in.
Yeah, that you don't want to get let in anymore.
Well, it was ingenious.
Oh, it's a shame that it's just only for that place.
Yeah, there was more places that we could break into. Just for
That's the only thing I
enjoyment.
miss about the festival is breaking into that place.
Oh man.
Like the rest, I just really don't miss any of it except for just being able to break in.
Yeah, well,
to a
I know,
sauna
I
facility.
know what you're saying. It was actually very enjoyable. I was thinking about this today. Do you ever remember going to the garbage dump as a kid? Did your dad ever take you to the dump?
No, I don't. I can't remember going. Like as a child.
Oh, it used to be a big deal to me.
Recently, I've been going. Yeah,
Recently,
yeah.
you've been going to the dump.
Just researching my next time. But yeah.
Yeah.
But you went as a lot, hey?
Well, we were in Toowoomba and, Dad had a bit of land there and like it wasn't unusual. Like, I guess it was different in Toowoomba being a smaller place. You go into the dump, like as a kid was the most exciting thing. And I was just thinking about this today. Like it was the most exciting thing, because as a kid, you go out to the dump and it's just this giant piles of garbage and you could find the coolest shit. Like, cause you're sifting through what people threw out. And to a kid, that's super fun. And I remember looking at like the dude who was in charge of the dump, who's like in this tiny
Yeah.
booth that just charges, a toll for people coming in and dumping. And you could sort of see shit that he'd sifted through and found, like old chairs or a barbecue or like a gas bottle or something that could be salvaged. And as a kid, you were just like, wow, that guy has the coolest job in the world. He just gets to go through garbage all day. And it's just so funny to me that as an adult now, obviously you look at him and you see a repetitive waking nightmare. But
Yeah.
as a kid, you're like, whoa, that job must be so cool.
It's so true. There's so many jobs like that as a kid, where you just project a fantasy on, but later you find out that it would be a nightmare.
Yeah, almost every job.
Yeah.
Every job.
Well, I
we have
remember
a
wanting to work at
fantasy.
McDonald's as a kid. Like, you know, when you
Right.
were 6 years old or whatever, you get like an Inspector Gadget toy in your Happy Meal. And you'd like just go, "Oh, I can't believe these people get to work here at this fucking magical place."
Right.
Like, I bet they get to eat the food every day free of charge. And,
Wow. Yeah.
you know, they get to be like handling toys. And then you realize like that 54-year-old guy in the deep fryer is like this close to being in a mental asylum. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
because you
his
think they're
life,
hanging
yeah.
out with Ronald McDonald and Grimace and all that, and just like having this party, this 24/7, like, oh, we're around toys and burgers.
It's not a drudgery of an absolute nightmare, and it's not just people, either teenagers or people's that are trying to dig their life out of the biggest ditch, like just the bottom of the barrel. I've got nothing left. Like you think he's leaving to talk to Ronald McDonald about the next Sunday, to how to design the next best Sunday at McDonald's, but he is leaving to have a conversation with a cliff. Like he's getting in a fucking 4-door Camry, one of the old ones where the window's gone, and he has to tape up a bit of plastic bags.
Oh yeah,
to fill the
he's
hole.
got that.
Driving.
Yeah, you think he's going to play grab ass with Grimace in the playground, but he's actually going to like get an illegal OxyContin prescription filled out at a Chemist Warehouse in Burpengary. Like, like you just project these fantasies. You're like,
that's very particular.
But you literally are like, they must hang out with all the guys on the Happy Meal thing, and that's his dream job.
Happy Meal.
I mean, he's 54 on a deep fryer. He's on a walkie-talkie being abused by a fucking guy in a ute.
Who's celebrating his righteous after work celebration with a bit of abuse. You fucking dog, you mutt. I asked for a quarter pounder, you fucking dog. You mutt. I hope you get the lot, you mutt. And he's just some
guy crying.
Yeah, and you're just like watching him going, wow, one day I'll work at McDonald's till I'm fucking 60.
It'll be awesome. I won't be using Smoko to cry in my Camry with no windows. Like, you do that, eh? You project fantasies onto all those jobs, even office jobs, I remember.
I feel like every job is a projected fantasy. Like my brother Will's a racing car driver. Like as if that isn't the biggest fucking kid's fantasy in the world. But of course, for him, it's a fucking nightmare. You know? Like, I mean, obviously it's like every job. There's like the ultimate highs and then the ultimate, you know, stress.
But the fantasy can only be projected, is what I'm becoming more and more to believe in life. Like you can only ever project it. It's not being experienced by any people. If you know what I'm saying. Like, it's like, I think I told you about that hotel where it's like the nicest hotel in Ireland or whatever. Like it's this really fancy, like chandelier. But everyone there, you're like, fuck, imagine if I could stay here, which I can't because it's, you know, 10,000 a night or whatever.
Right.
But everyone there's on Bluetooths and stuff.
Because they need to be doing that to have the money to afford to be there. So when they're actually there, they're distracted and not present because of the lifestyle they need to be there.
Exactly. Like I saw a guy on a Bluetooth eating a cupcake with a knife and fork. Like it wasn't this celebration.
No. Ironically,
it's this weird alienated experience for these people.
Ironically, the only people that could truly enjoy it is if you went up to someone like in a caravan park and go, here's 2 tickets to one of the best hotels in the world, and you get to stay there for a night. They're like, fucking oh, they get their deep fry cooker and their fucking, you know, and all that, and pack it all up, and fucking, this isn't too bad, is it? Fucking hell.
They do that thing on the bed where you test it out, like, fuck, fucking springs on this. Yeah, like, because exactly. Only they could enjoy it, eh?
Yeah, but for everyone else, it's like, yep, no, you sold the stocks. I told you not to sell them. Great. You just lost me $4 million. And he's just having a panic attack. Whereas next door, there's a couple of dudes from a caravan park going, whoop, whoop. Fuck, you got a soap. You get a bit of soap. They give you a bit of soap. Oh, it smells like flowers. Fucking hell.
It's called the JFK suite. Who the fuck's that?
Yeah.
But yeah,
JFK.
like it's
Didn't he play for the Broncos?
Isn't that the Just for Laughs festival? Yeah, but yeah, that guy, yeah, it was crazy. Like just like, because the people staying there would probably be insomniacs and stuff. You know what I mean? Because of their high paced thing.
Isn't it the Just for Laughs festival? I mean, did you think you were going to say that and not expect? That's the most insane. JFL, JFK, Just for Laughs.
It's not even an actual direct.
It's like
one
when
for
an
one acronym even
comedian talks to the crowd and he's like, "What do you do, mate? You're a baker. You baked. I'm baking. I'm baked. I baked. I smoked a joint before I'm baked." Yeah, the
hydro. Yeah. water, hydroponics. Yeah. Just trying to get riffs going.
We're talking about like the projection of dreams and stuff, because I thought it'd be nice to end on a bit of a film review, or just like something I noticed in a film last night for our listeners, who I think would really like this film. It's called Dark City. It's a sci-fi. Have you seen it? It's on Netflix if you're listening, and it's called Dark City. It's a great sci-fi film, I think, about an alien race that, anyway, I won't spoil. Well, I'm going to spoil the ending actually, because that's what I kind of want to talk about a bit. Sort of spoil it a bit, I guess. But anyway, you should watch it. It's awesome. But it's about a manufactured world by aliens that are trying to put humans in this world that they're constantly altering. They're constantly altering the humans in this experiment they've created, and obviously the humans just think they're living life, but the aliens have created this world where they're able to constantly alter the lives of the people by re-injecting different memories into their heads. So you could wake up one day and they'd stop time, put everyone to sleep, and re-inject them with a new life in an attempt for this alien race to try and understand what makes humans human. Like the search for the soul, kind of. Like what makes someone someone. So they constantly alter people's memories and stuff. And one of the characters becomes immune to this and is able to overcome it and blah, blah, blah. And of course, discovers the world is completely false, controlled by an alien species. None of it's real. And one of the memories that was artificially put into his head was of a beach with a sun and a beautiful beach called Shell Beach. And he tries to find that beach through the whole movie, but there's only nighttime and it's only a dark city the whole time because the aliens have constructed that. And there is no Shell Beach. It's just an illusion that was injected into his head. But of course, once he overcomes that, discovers the truth, defeats the aliens, he's able to alter the world to what he wants it to be. And what he wants to changes it to is Shell Beach. So he creates the Shell Beach that was just a memory that never was real. He creates it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the end of the movie. He makes the dream that was injected into his head a reality. So what I'm saying is that the interesting thing I took out of that was that our dreams, the interesting thing about that is that his dream was totally artificial. Like it was given to him. But even though our dreams are told to us, they're totally artificial to us. We're not born with them. They're just given to us by the society we live in. He was given a false dream that was of his childhood that never existed, a place that never existed, but he still wants to live the dream. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He doesn't go, "Oh, that's not even real. That dream was fake. It was a false memory." He goes, "The dream wasn't real. It is false. It was given to me, told to me, injected into my head, but I still want to create it as the ultimate fantasy to finally have the thing, even though he knows it's false." And that's what I think is the same for us, right? When we talk about like why we pursue the things we pursue and stuff, the dreams we have. are totally artificial, told to us by TV and advertising and movies and Hollywood. But even though we know they're fake, we still want them. Even though
Yeah,
we know if we got really rich and famous, we'd probably be unhappy and want to kill ourselves like all the celebrities. Looks like a nightmare, drug addiction and so on, all these problems with having money and fame, but we still want these dreams, even though we know them to be fake.
because yeah, that's it. It reminds me of that scene in The Matrix where he's like eating the steak with, and
Right.
he's talking to the agent. You know that bit where he's like doing a deal, and he wants to
Right.
be put back in the Matrix so he can eat steak. That's
Exactly.
fake
Exactly.
because he doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want to eat gruel that's real. You know how they have to eat that shitty porridge.
Yeah. It's exactly what I'm trying to say. I think it's interesting
Yeah,
that our dreams, this modern religion, follow your dreams, your dreams, your dreams. Well, he got to follow his dreams. It's all fake and artificial, and it's something that is nonsense. But we still
yeah,
want to arrive at these dreams. Anyway, I just thought that would be an interesting way to end the podcast.
yeah. I think so. It's true.
Good to end on a bit of a film review or a film recommendation, even
Yeah,
though I've spoiled it. I think it's a great film and there's
I'll
plenty
still
in
watch
there.
it.
It's totally worth watching. It's a great sci-fi and it's quite profound. Yeah, that idea of what makes
I'll watch
us
movies backwards. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll read books backwards. I don't really care about the ending that much with stuff.
Right.
Like I'll miss the ending. I like the start of things more than the ending, I think.
Really?
Like I hate missing the start of a film, but
You love
the end, I
the
can
end.
leave 5 minutes before. No, but I think, yeah, missing the start is tragic, you know, when you get into the film and it's already,
Yeah. Very true.
because you might miss that really nice start bit where they tell you what the fuck's happening.
I guess all endings in a way are sort of cliched to a degree,
Yeah.
you know. Whew. All right. Well, I think that's us. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening. Sorry we're a bit late on the episodes. We were in Melbourne for a month and was not humanly possible to record an episode. But I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be
Yeah.
back with regular timing, won't we, Rathy?
Yeah. That's the irony, eh? We're in the same room for a month, but no podcast.
I know it's a great tragedy,
But it's actually impossible.
but we will be in Sydney together, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll have Sydney dates that I'll put up on my website and stuff.
Oh, cool.
The first week of July, 7th of July, Saturday. I think I've got my show at the Sydney Comedy Store, so we will record something in the same room.
Yeah.
Week, without the pressure of the Melbourne Comedy Festival, we will be in the same place, and we will do something for that.
Nice.
All right. Well, we'll see you
All right.
again soon. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us. Bye.